G'day fellow Christians of the internet, this is Must here, subscribe to Argonian here on YouTube, and online ambassador Bruzo Dragonius. You know, just this, I know that this news have been all over social media, especially on YouTube, right? And it's been almost a month when this video is coming out, or when this video filmed, that's YouTubers, and now especially furry YouTubers, have been talking about this subject. Apparently, the thing that's gone absolutely viral on the internet is some school report of there's furries taking over the school and all that kind of stuff. There's furries that are harassing normies. There's furries that are biting and licking and scratching the normies and all that kind of stuff. I know that what we could do. We could probably get the students out there and have a walkout / a protest. And that is what a middle school in Utah, happening, and that is what happened at a small middle school in Utah called Mount Nebo.
We begin in Payson, where a group of about 75 protesters showed up to Nebo Middle School today. They say it's an issue over students who call themselves furries. But how much of that discontent is fueled by rumor? Our Sarah Murphy asked that question. She's here with what she found out. Sarah, what's this all about?
All right, Brian. Well, the term furry, it refers to someone interested in animals with human qualities. Now, they dress up like this as a cartoon version of an animal. Now, we've learned there have been reports at Nebo Middle School that students are getting mistreated over this topic.
There was some kids dressed up as animals, and I heard that another kid got bit by one of them.
There's a lot of speculation surrounding the protest that happened at Nebo Middle School Wednesday morning. Nearly 75 students and parents showed up facing the school, saying they're unhappy with how administration is handling reports of harassment.
Okay.
You guys cannot record me without my permission! This is video a Nebo Middle School student took last week. Parents say there's an issue between some students and others who call themselves furries, or people who enjoy dressing up as cartoonish animals.
Back when I went to school, you know, you couldn't dress that way, you couldn't do certain things, and I think it kind of needs to go back a little bit. Like, I know kids need their own personalities, but it's ridiculous when kids are dressing like animals and licking and biting people. I just don't think that's okay.
But the Nebo School District tells us it's not that extreme. Seth Sorensen says no one was scratching or biting anyone, and that there are a lot of untrue rumors going around.
It actually is not something that's been occurring. In fact, a lot of the information that's been put out there is completely incorrect and inaccurate, and so we're still trying to get on top of that.
I would have thought, well, okay, this is a bit of, I don't know who's at fault, to be honest. I mean, the first thing that puts into my mind is, okay, there's normie kids, you know, maybe that Utah is basically a conservative state in the United States. I mean, besides, there were like, you know, Christian type thing, Trump supporting state and all that kind of stuff. And the thing about it is that I don't know who's at fault. I don't know, you know, the whole story in this situation. Maybe it's something of the case of normies bullying furries and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, got no idea on the full story. I mean, it's a viral news clip from ABC and not Fox News in America, where it's all completely conservative media and all that kind of stuff. And the story goes that parents, I mean, there's kids that are just complaining to the parents that there's furries in the school and they've been bullied by furries, by all these sort of things that what animals usually do out there in the wildlife and all that kind of stuff. And the parents took it the wrong way. So what did they do? They stage a walkout of the school. They stage a protest or even a picket in the school quad, or even out front of the school, saying that we've been bullied by furries. They've been they've been harassing us. They've been biting us. They've been clawing at us. And yes, I know that that the furry fandom is growing as we speak, you know. And especially there are young furries. You know, people are starting to go into the furry fandom at a very young age, even in schools and all that kind of stuff. Okay? And maybe that there's some things that in some schools and all that kind of stuff, you know, trying to outright ban fursuits in schools and all that kind of stuff, you know, or any furry fandom related things. But there's a thing, right? Because the fact being is that maybe it doesn't connect of reports of furries biting and all that kind of stuff. Maybe that there's people that are just complaining about people wearing headbandies and just a tail, not a full-blown fursuit at a school, right? And the thing about it is that this sort of protest and all that kind of stuff, especially the claims that are just that the normies or the parents made of that, is a lot similar to the case of furries wanting litter boxes in toilets and all that kind of stuff. To me, it's just blows my mind and all that kind of stuff. It's just like WTF, right? And especially with that walkout and all that kind of stuff of kids having enough of the furries and that, even though that the kids aren't really bullied by the furries, us furries are the victims of the bullying, right? And if you and not only that protest is kind of like, you know, just fueling other mess into the thing besides the cat litter or litter boxes in the toilets and all that kind of stuff. I mean, this kind of has something to do with a lot similar to the pro-Israeli type protests and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I could probably go on about the going on with the war in Gaza or the genocide of Gaza or what's going on in the Middle East, but I'm not going to do it, okay? But the thing about it is that, okay, I know that this is not really human behavior. You know, us furries know that we're human in these costumes, you know, or whatever that's like, you know, either the walking carpets, most of them, and all that kind of stuff. And even though that recently, that is the same school that is getting complete bomb threats and all that kind of stuff, I don't know what reason and all that kind of stuff. What sort of reason? I mean, there could be some radicals and all that kind of stuff. You know, complaining about furries being in the schools and walking out because of it. I mean, us people, all that kind of stuff. We furries become furries because of that we want to express ourselves and all that kind of stuff. Okay? That being, once we became a furry, once we get our own fursuits and all that kind of stuff, we want to suit more and more and more and find some ways to do it. Okay? I get that. You know? As kids, we want to express ourselves of who we are, of our uniqueness and all that kind of stuff. And I have not heard of humans biting, licking and all that kind of stuff out of fursuits and or scratching and all that kind of stuff of other kids. Right? And even that with this same news report that is bringing, that have brought out a random fursuiter by the name of Strudel, right? I don't know if Strudel is actually the student of this school or not. Maybe, as far as I'm concerned, that she's a random furry that they found in a local area. But this is what she had to say.
It's crazy that it's escalated to this point where these kids are being so distracting to their peers that their peers want to stage a walkout. So to have, you know, the next generation kind of muddy our name and not represent it very well, it is kind of disappointing.
Strudel believes there should be some limits.
Continue doing things you like, continue dressing up, continue making art, but maybe let's keep it outside of school hours.
That is right. In other words, she said this, and let me interpret, and I do agree with her, is that when it comes to wearing fursuits, when it comes to wearing animal costumes, when it comes to wearing certain costumes, you know, there's a T&P rule. Which I mean that as in time and place. You know, even though that we do love to wear fursuits on every time that we would love to, you know, as our form of expression, even though that we love to go out there and to, you know, and do our kind of things, you know, when it comes to the public area, when it comes to schools and all that kind of stuff, there is a time and place, okay? And not everything that she says that she said that fursuits are not always okay in public areas and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and especially in places like Cavill Ave in Surfers Paradise, where it is illegal to wear some of this in that same area. And even though that I would encourage younger furries to come out and express who they actually are, even getting fursuits and all that kind of stuff, okay? Even though that I love and adore, you know, like, even though that I do like younger furries, as well as their parents that actually accepts them and even supports them for their furriness and all that kind of stuff. Even though that there are some parents out there that is like so fully against it, or, you know, it's, but like, I'm glad that that news is broadcasted on a non-Murdoch media news site that is, you know, what I mean, Murdoch media. I'm thinking of Sky News, Fox News, or some newspapers like the Daily Mail, the Daily Telegraph, Fairfax Media, and all that kind of stuff. Just trying, I mean, and I'm really glad that it's not in any of the Murdoch media sites that actually antagonizes things that are just, is a minority, or like a minority group, or anything that is predominantly LGBTQ+, in the fandom. And I'm not saying that I'm LGBTQ because I'm a furry, just that. I'm saying that furries are is predominantly LGBTQ as a community and all that kind of stuff. But still, that gets to my concerns, to be honest, because the fact being is that, to me, right, there are some kids that are just out there, are just full of hate, you know. And I know that fursuits can be a distraction in the school environment, okay? I do get that. I myself never wore a fursuit at school. Hell, I wasn't that much openly a furry when I was at school. And I do encourage kids coming out to what makes them happy. You know, if they wanted to be a fluffy animal of some sort, if they wanted to go around in the carpet and all that kind of stuff, as long as they have the money, by all means, do it, okay? Find a means to do it. But, like I said, time and place, maybe go out to cons, maybe go out public shooting, maybe into the park, okay? Other things to do besides, you know, or doing that to piss people off, to be honest. Okay? And as for the kids that wanted to go out there and protest because of things that they don't like, of making so much accusations of furries bullying them and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that is a lot similar to Jews protesting. Actually, no, not Jews. Pro-Israelis protesting on pro-Palestinian kids in university, counter-protesting pro-Palestinian protesters in universities and colleges and all that kind of stuff, which I am not going to even touch ever in my YouTube channel. Otherwise, I could be flagged, or I could be sanctioned as a channel by the US government, because, you know, with the laws that are going on in America could potentially affect me on these sites, okay? Even though that I'm not American and all that kind of stuff. And I do notice that same school, a week later, had been had been copying bomb threats. Something that is just purely what goes on in America, you know, with the school shootings and that, you know, that is just, to me, a non-furry related thing and all that kind of stuff. But my point still stands around in this issue, right? And even if you are one of those Therians that tend to go out and, for something, biting people, scratching people, or licking people and all that kind of stuff, or be like an animal to these people, even if you are a Therian, right, at least know your limits, right? You can identify as, I don't know, a cat, a dog, or even a wolf trapped in a human body. Okay? You do you. Okay? I'm not the one to judge. But I don't know if it's true or not. Or if it's something like the litter boxes in school bathrooms type thing, like a complete BS myth. In other words, don't bite people because they tend to piss you off. Don't scratch them. And, you know, if they tend to bully you, just walk away from them. Tell the nearest teacher, or perhaps, in some cases, tell the cops. And perhaps use taking to use getting your own personal comeuppance, use that as a last resort, but only as a last resort. So I know that I'm really around the top. I mean, going all over the places, and also about this Mount Nebo school. That's in the thing, right? Yeah, there are furries there. I do get that. Okay, and the thing that I would like to add about that school is that, well, okay, there's furries in that school. The mascot of your school is a panther. So, if I were a principal of that school, maybe it's about time to get the school board together and all that kind of stuff. And since that their mascot is a furry, that is a panther, that their school name are the Panthers, haven't they tried auditioning furries? Like getting a panther mascot costume made and auditioning the furries to play as a panther mascot and have that experience on what it's like to be in a fursuit? Because let's face it, being in a fursuit and being in a mascot costume is just basically the same thing, from what I heard. You know? Food for thought, Mr. Sorensen. Food for thought. Well, anyway, enough said. If you do like this video, actually comment down what you think about these student protests and walkout on kids with the furries and all that kind of stuff. You know, you're more than welcome to comment down on the description down below. If you do like this video so far, make sure you smash that like button and also smash that subscribe button. Both are in the description down below. Also, if you have subscribed, also if you do like my content so far and you want to support me in this channel, please, please, please. It's not like that I'm, you know, forcing you to do it or hacking your computers and, you know, and, you know, pressing subscribe to each and every one of your things. But if you do like my channel, please, please, please consider becoming a subscriber. As well as if you were already subscribed, maybe if you wanted to be the first person to know, make sure that you press the bell icon so you can know, be one to know when it came out, as it came out or something like that. Or you can be the first one to know. Also, ways to give me money and my other social medias that you can follow me on is also on the description down below. If you wanted to game with me on whatever, you know, as long as you have a PS5 or a PS4, my gaming tag is Bruzo21. Or if you want to meet me in Tamriel there, same thing. Just look out for that gamer tag. And as always, please know your limits. Don't bite and scratch people. I know that RL Furry Productions have covered this subject and all that kind of stuff. And until next time, may His guide you all. Bye for now. And that Fursuit and other videos is coming out shortly. So anyway, bye for now.